Have you ever enjoyed a bowl of chili so much that you wanted to lick the bowl? Well, today I'm gonna show you how to eat your bowl. We're gonna make a giant bowl out of cornbread. We're gonna fill it with hot chili, melted cheese. It's gonna look incredible and it's gonna taste awesome. You know, chili doesn't have to be complicated. Our recipe today is super simple because you know what? We get to eat this out of a cornbread bowl, which is gonna be delicious. So the first thing I'm gonna need is some ground beef that I'm gonna saute, and we're just gonna brown this ground beef, just enough to get the pink off of it, just a couple minutes on medium heat. And then we're gonna start building our chili. So after we have our meat browned, we're gonna add some chopped onion, some green bell pepper. I have some corn. You could use canned corn or fresh corn, whichever one you have access to. And then we're gonna add 2 different types of tomatoes. So I have tomato puree, and then I also have some crushed tomatoes. I'm gonna stir this mound together just a little bit so I don't fling tomatoes everywhere. Tend to be a messy stir. And you don't have to make this in a saute pan. If you'd rather use a Dutch oven, or you could even make it in a slow cooker, either one would work. Okay, now that I've got this stirred in a little bit, I'm gonna add a packet of taco seasoning, some canned kidney beans that we have drained and rinsed. And then here's where we can take it up a notch. You can just stick with the taco seasoning if you like, but if you like things a little bit spicier, which I do, you can add your favorite hot sauce. I have this Chipotle Tabasco. You could use whatever your favorite type of hot sauce is and just add it to taste. And remember too, if you're serving it in a bowl, like a cornbread bowl like we're doing, it kind of mutes the spice a little bit as you're eating it, so feel free to add as much as you want. Okay, so we're gonna stir this all together. We're gonna turn the heat down to low and we're gonna cook it for about an hour, hour and a half, just until the flavors start to meld together, the beef is cooked through, and then I'm gonna show you how to make a bowl made of cornbread. All right, now we are ready to make our cornbread bowls. So the first thing we need to have ready are 6-inch springform pans. You can buy these online. You could go to a cooking store, a baking store. They should have them. And the reason why we're using the springform pans is because it's a lot easier to pop the bowls out of the mold after they're baked, as opposed to using a 6-inch cake pan where we'd kind of have to, you know, use a butter knife around the edge and try and crank it out. These are gonna be so much simpler. They're gonna make a pretty perky bowl with a beautiful golden edge. It's gonna be really awesome. So this is not cornbread made from scratch. This is actually from a cornbread mix, which I really love. It's really simple. It tastes really good. So I have about a box of cornbread mix in each of these bowls because we want our bowls to be nice and thick. We're not making cornbread plates here. We're making bowls. So I used a whole packet to make sure our bowls are nice and thick and hearty. So what I'm gonna do is just take each of our cornbreads that we've made, our cornbread batters, and we're gonna pour them into the springform pans that we have sprayed with cooking spray. Also, a tip on using cornbread mix. If you make the cornbread batter and you let it rest for like 3 to 4 minutes, it's gonna bake up higher than if you had just put it right in the oven. So if you have a few extra minutes, let that batter rest. We're gonna do the same thing with the second one. And obviously, if you have a favorite cornbread mix that you like, a cornbread recipe, you could totally use that here too. I just used the whole packet to make sure I got a really hearty bowl. Okay, these are ready to go in the oven. I'm gonna put them in at 375 for about 35 minutes, let them cool, and then we'll be ready to build our cornbread bowls. So our cornbread is baked. We popped them out of the springform pans. We let it cool. So what I'm gonna do is cut a small circle out of the top, but I'm gonna cut at an angle. So I'm cutting the cornbread out of the center of the bowl to make sure we create that bowl shape. And also, you don't wanna cut too far to the edge so that you can see the lip of the bowl when you're serving it. And voila, you have your cornbread bowl. When you're cutting, you realize, oh, I didn't get as much out of the center as I wanted to. You could use a spoon to kind of, you know, get more out of the center if you need. Perfect. So I'm gonna do the same thing to the other one. Okay, so I'm happy with these. They look good. You have the tops ready to go. You can eat them yourself if you need a little snack, and we're ready to fill it with chili. So I have my chili that we've made. It's been simmering for about an hour and a half. It smells awesome. It looks good. And I'm just gonna fill these with chili. Now make sure when you're eating these, you wanna eat the chili first, not the cornbread. If you eat the cornbread first, you don't have a bowl anymore. And that's the whole point of this recipe, so chili first. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of cheese right now so it can kind of start to melt. And then we have kind of some melty pieces with some fresh cheese on top. All right, these look great. And before I get into serving these, I'm gonna go add some finishing touches. Okay, so we have our cornbread bowls filled with chili. They have that melty cheese that's starting to melt into the top. And now it's time to add the toppings. So the first thing I'm gonna do is add some more fresh cheese to our bowls. Never have enough cheese. Put a little more on top. I love it. And this is Colby Jack cheese. You could do cheddar cheese, white cheddar, spicy, maybe like a pepper jack, whatever you want to do here. And next, we're gonna add a dollop of daisy. We're gonna add some sour cream. I actually do really like the sour cream being in the squeeze pouch. It makes it really easy to put on top of the chili and to control how much we're putting on. So I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze some on top in a little bit of a cute swirly motion. That looks awesome. And then for our final touch, we're gonna add some green onions. I love the flavor of raw green onions, but they also add a pop of green to our brown tones that we have going on in the cornbread bowl. And so we just presented these cornbread bowls on plates individually, just like we'd be serving them up to friends. They'd be on their own plate. We also have the chili out so that if guests or whoever you're serving these to want to add more chili to their bowls, they easily can. I cannot wait to dive in and eat these. And you know what? The cleanup is gonna be a breeze. Now for cleanup. That's one tasty bowl. I want to see how you styled your chili in a cornbread bowl. Tag @PopKitchen on Instagram and comment below. I want to know what you want to see me style next.